Iguodala to Curry, back to Iguodala, up for the layup. Oh, blocked by James.
All right, am I the only one that likes coffee at midnight? Am I the only one? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to a brand new episode of At the Buzzer Sports, where we talk all things basketball all the time. I am John Drummond, your host of At the Buzzer Sports, your founder. You know, it's just me today. It's just me today. And today, I'm going to be doing my top 7 point guards in the NBA draft. Basically, my point guard big board for the 2024 NBA draft. Now, we're going to be going from 7 to 1. I think all 7 of these players have the potential to be drafted in the first 20 picks of the draft. So, this is not really the point guard draft that will really blow you away. I mean, I don't think that anybody is really. I don't think this is a draft that's really going to blow you away. Not saying this is the bad draft. This is a bad draft, but I don't think this is a draft that's really going to blow you away. Now, we're going to dive deep into these players. Not pause. Oh my God. We're going to break down these. We're going to look at these players' games and we're going to rank them from 7 to 1 on who I think is the best point guards in this draft. So we're going to start with number 7. Let's get right to it. Okay, at number 7, I have Devin Carter. Devin Carter was born March 18th, 2002. So he's actually older than me, which is crazy because I don't see a lot of NBA players getting drafted now that are older than me. I'm 21. So anyway, Devin Carter, I think, is a decent shooter. I mean, before his junior season, I don't think there was a lot of shooting that could have been raved at, but this is a tough player. This is a guy who can catch transition threes and make them, knock them down. I think this is a guy that can play make. I think this is a very tough player, as in he does not play at his size. I think he stands at 6'3.5", and he can play. He plays as a 6'7" wing. So I really love that. I love the grittiness. I love how he could be taught on defense. He looks like the type of guy who's going to come in and really make an effort day one on the defensive side of the basketball. But I just really do not believe in his jump shot or his playmaking as much as I believe in the guys in front of him, in the Isaiah Colliers, in the Nikola Topic's, in the Reed Shepherds, in the Jared McCain's. I don't believe in his shooting as much as I believe in Jared McCain's. I don't believe in his playmaking as much as I do, as much as Isaiah Collier. So I don't think this is a bad pick at all. I think this is a type of pick where if he falls to the Pelicans, perfect. If he falls to Miami, perfect. If he's a guy that could come off the bench for the 76ers for the foreseeable future, at least for the first year or two of his career, perfect. You know, I think this is a gritty player who's going to come in NBA ready. I mean, this is a veteran college basketball player. So I think he's going to make the right plays. I think he's going to make winning plays. But there's a little bit of things that kind of steer me away from that being the type of player he's going to be immediately. So Devin Carter, I have him at 7. At number 6, I have Isaiah Collier. I think this guy could be a very, very, very good playmaker in the NBA. I think he has the potential to be one of the best downhill players in the league. I mean, we've seen it in the college basketball era where he gets downhill. He likes to create plays for either his wings or his bigs. It could mess up his assist to turnover ratio, or back in college it did, to where it would drop just out of the big man's hands, or their wings were just not ready for the pass, so they're not capitalizing on him getting very good looks for his teammates. Now, I think this is the type of guy who could do really well with a good roller or a good lob threat, a guy like Zion Williamson or a guy like Bam Adebayo, you know, just somebody who can catch that lob. And I think a good screener and a good roller for Isaiah Collier, or just like some corner threats. I mean, I'm really just talking myself into me loving him for the New Orleans Pelicans. I mean, imagine Isaiah Collier with the way he's able to pass out of doubles or hit the rolling man or create attention downhill because he's such a good downhill player. And then him being able to dump it off to Zion and let him finish, or him being able to swing it to the corner and let Herb Jones or CJ McCollum or Brandon Ingram, if he's still there, Trey Murphy, him letting those guys shoot the shots. I think he could be a very good playmaker from day one. Now, I don't necessarily love his shot diet. I mean, in the beginning of his college season, he shot very well from three, and then it kind of went down drastically. I would love to see him take a little bit more mid-range, because I think downhill, so many players are going to be, or so many defenders are going to be assuming that he's going to take it to the rim, especially with how good he is downhill. But if you could just get like a one-stop dribble, pull-up, mid-range shot, I think that can affect so many defenses, especially if he gets really good at that. I mean, we've seen the flashes. We've seen him take the snatch back mid-range shot. We've seen him take the step back. We've seen him take the one dribble pull up. I just think that with how good he is downhill, there should be no way that he's not working on the mid-range game. Now, I'm not sitting here saying he's not, but I would love to see him work on that mid-range game, and that's why I have Isaiah Collier at number 6. Now, Jared McCain is somebody I think can be a very good scorer in the NBA. I mean, this is a guy who has a very good pull-up shooting motion. He's very good at the pull-up jump shot, and that's going to create a lot for him in the NBA. Whether it be playing for a team like Sacramento, that's where I have him mocked to go. In my mock draft as of now, I have Jared McCain going to the Sacramento Kings, coming off the bench and necessarily growing his way into that Malik Monk role for them. So I like Jared McCain because, one, we're going to talk about the pull-up shooting. The pull-up shooting is so good for me, in my opinion, is because he knows how to create lanes when people press on the pull-up jump shot. Once he starts coming into the league and those pull-up jump shots start falling, it's going to be on the scouting report that he loves to take those shots. So players aren't going to let him come up the court as easily as they would maybe his first 20 to 25 games. That's going to lead to a lot of fouls. That's going to lead to a lot of lanes. It's going to lead to a lot of passes where he can hit a cutting Davion Mitchell, hit a De'Aaron Fox that could be cutting. If he's playing next to De'Aaron Fox, he could hit Domantas Sabonis. He could throw the lob to JaVale McGee. He can hit Keegan Murray in the corner. That's going to lead to a lot of offense for him. I think people who are going to be a little bit too aggressive on the pull-up jump shot is going to end up putting themselves in a bad situation because Jared McCain is great in transition. He's going to be able to run past you. He's not the most athletic guy, but he knows how to get separation. He knows how to get the shoulder bump to create an open shot. He can get the post fadeaway driving downhill. I think that Jared McCain is a very gifted scorer. He's a decent playmaker. I wouldn't say he's anything spectacular, but once again, I think that's going to get better with time in the NBA. I think he's going to be able to walk in to an NBA team, and I think he's going to be able to stretch the floor, and that is something that a lot of players or a lot of teams are going to be looking for, because we look at a lot of drafts and a lot of rookies come in and they're not the greatest shooters. That's going to be something that's going to have to develop. But when you have a guy that can come in and hit jump shots at the efficiency that he did, I think he shot, 41% from three this season. So I think that's very good. And I think he could be a 38 to 37 type of 3-point shooter coming into the league this year, because there's always going to be an adjustment period. But I think Jared McCain is a very, very gifted scorer. And that's who I'm going to have with my number 5 pick. At number 4, this may shock a little bit of you guys, but I have Rob Dillingham. Going number 4. And when I make these type of lists, I look at upside, I look at what you can bring from day one, and I really look at the potential. I mean, nobody can ever really be right 100% of the time when it comes to potential of a draft prospect. I mean, if there was one person that could get all the potential right for every single player in the draft prospect history, where they're like, oh, Nikola Jokic, who just got picked during the Taco Bell commercial, is going to be one of the greatest bigs of all time. Or Giannis Antetokounmpo, who was picked outside the lottery, is going to be a 2-time MVP, a champion, and a Defensive Player of the Year. We wouldn't be doing this. I wouldn't be up at 1 a.m. making a big board video so I could post it on YouTube because it's Friday night and I have no friends. So, I really don't have any friends, bro. Well, I do have friends. It's just we're all, that weird stage when you get out of high school. I've been out of high school for 3 years. I've been out of high school for a while, but that weird stage where you get out of high school, you and your friends start going in different paths. You still love your friends to death, but you just don't talk to them as much as you used to, And now I'm up doing mock drafts, and one of my friends is in the medical field. He's actually on the podcast. He's in the medical field. He's doing great for himself. I mean, this is a rant. Let's get back to the video. Anyway, Rob Dillingham. I know that's going to shock some guys and be like, why is Rob Dillingham at number 4? And why is he under guys like Reed Shepherd and Stephon Cassell? And like I said, before I make my list, I think of a lot of things. I think of upside. I think of what you can provide for an NBA team the very first second you step onto an NBA floor. I look at the offense and the defensive side of the basketball, and when we look at it, Rob Dillingham is a 6'2". I think he stands at about 164 pounds. It says it right here. He can be a good 3-point shooter. He shot 44% from 3 this year. One of the better shooters in the draft. but I just do not really believe on the defensive side of the ball he's going to make any impact at all. I don't see him being the best playmaker coming in. I think Reed Shepherd and Nikola Topic have him beat there. And I think Stephon Castle has him beat on the defensive end, especially the fact that Stephon Castle is 6'6" and can be a combo guard. Now, I think if you can put Rob Dillingham next to a guy like Cade Cunningham or LaMelo Ball, it could work out. But the fact that he's so ball dominant and Reed can be like the picture perfect combo guard at his peak. Stephon Castle can be a picture perfect combo guard at his peak. Reed Shepherd with a little bit more touches to his game can be the perfect point guard or a perfect shooting guard. Stephon Castle could be the starting point guard that you can win a championship team with at the peak of his powers. I don't know if Rob Dillingham is that. Now, Rob Dillingham, in my opinion, could have a Tyrese Maxey type of jump. I mean, when we look at both of these guys and the way they play, Tyrese Maxey is an on-ball type of guy who can score. But the fact is, Tyrese Maxey got the chance to be an off-ball player playing next to James Harden, which really uplifted his game. I think Tyrese Maxey is so dangerous because he can give you 30 off ball and he can give you 30 on ball. And I just don't see that from Rob Dillingham just yet. Not saying Rob Dillingham is going to be a bad player, but at this moment right now, I could be wrong. I could be right. I would take Stephon Castle and Reed Shepherd over him. So I am having Rob Dillingham at 4. At number 3, I'm going to take Stephon Castle out of UConn. This is a guy that just won a national championship. Great defender. Now, he has come on record. I don't think this is something that's too big of a deal, but he has come on record saying that he is a point guard. He wants to come in and he wants to play point guard. And I was watching the 6 Rings of Steel and Pee Wee the Plug mock draft. By the way, that collab is not something that I thought I would ever get, but it was also something I didn't know I needed. That was a great video. And these are two guys I go to when it comes to draft process and mock drafts and player evaluating. These are guys I love to watch. So seeing them two collab was amazing for me. Anyway, if we look at Stephon Castle's averages, he averages about 11 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, did not shoot well from the 3, and then shot about 47% from the field. Now, Stephon Castle is 6'6", 210 pounds. I really like the fact that he was able at such a young age, because when we look at it, Stephon Castle is 19 years old. He's only 19 years old. He won't be 20 until November 1st. So to have the maturity to come to a college basketball team and really move over to the shooting guard and become a defensive-minded guard first for the better of your team, I think that speaks a lot to where he could go in the draft process. I think Stephon Castle can get better as a playmaker. I think the way that he's going to be able to defend day one is going to make an impact for any team that drafts him. I would love the Spurs to go get him at 4 because of how used to Stephon Castle is at playing defense and sending his guards straight to Donovan Clingan. It's kind of like you're doing the same thing in the NBA. You're going to play good defense, and if they want to go to Wembanyama, hey, God be with you. God be with you when you go to the paint against Victor Wembanyama. God be with you. So I really think Stephon Castle could be an all defensive type of point guard. I think he can be a Jalen Suggs type of player with a little bit more offensive upside. He has a great shooting form, so I don't necessarily think he's going to be a bad bad three-point shooter for his entire career. I think if he could just get to average, I think that'd be amazing. But other than that, I can't really tell the future. I'm just looking at these guys now and ranking. This would be my big board, the players that I think are at the top of the top when it comes to the point guard position. So that's what I'm going to be going for. Anyway, I have Stephon Castle at 3. We're going to move on to number 2. Now, at number 2, I have Reed Shepherd. Reed Shepherd, in my opinion, is more of a shooting guard than a point guard, but he's listed at a point guard. He can definitely play the point guard position. And when we talk about a player that can come in on all 30 NBA teams and make an impact, whether that be point guard, whether that be shooting guard, I think Reed Shepherd is the perfect guy. Every team in the NBA, I think the safest pick in this draft is Reed Sheppard. I think he is the safest pick in the draft. When we talk about a guy who I think he had a 42-inch vertical, shoots the lights out from three. He shot 54% from the three. No, that's not right. 52% from the 3-point line this season in the NBA, in the college, in the NCAA. I think it's going to be extremely hard to guard Reed Sheppard, especially if he plays the 2-guard position, because in the end of the day, this is a guy who's going to burn you from three. This is a guy that's going to burn you from three. And let's say he's playing next to a guy like Cade Cunningham, which I think is the best fit for him, the Detroit Pistons. If he's playing next to a guy like Cade Cunningham is going to attract a lot of attention downhill. And if you kick it out to Reed Sheppard, if you're too aggressive on that closeout, he's going to drive right past you and he's going to make the right play, whether it's a pull-up mid-range shot, whether it's a floater, whether it's swinging the ball one more time, or whether it's dumping off to a big like Jalen Duren. He's going to make the right play because that is the point guard in him. If you're too lazy on the closeout and you don't want to close out, he's going to burn you from three. I think he's probably going to have, he may have the most 30-point games as a rookie this season. He may have the most 30-point games as a rookie this season. I think he can have games to where he just goes out for 6 threes. He goes out and he knocks down 6 threes, or he goes out and he knocks down 7 threes because of the way you can put him in an offense. You can run him at point. He has some very active hands. Now, if in my opinion, if you're going to play him at the 2, I would rather have a 6'5", 6'6" type of point guard. But if you run him at the point guard, let him get some more ball handling opportunities because he didn't get to have that as much in Kentucky. I think this is a dangerous player. And Reed Sheppard is my number 2 point guard on this big board. Now, we all know who number 1 was. Nikola Topic out of Serbia. 6'6", I think he's 6'7", 200 pounds. Very, very, very gifted playmaker. Very good inside. This is a guy who is going to be 6'7", so he's going to be able to rebound. He's going to be able to defend. He's going to be able to finish in the paint. He's going to be able to get to the free throw line. He was a great free throw shooter. Shot 88% from the free throw line this year. Shot 88%. This is a guy that averaged 5 assists, 3 rebounds on 14.5 points. I think coming in his rookie year, when we look at his shot form, I think he's going to be a solid shooter. And when we look at how much he gets to the line or how efficient he is from the line, I think he's going to be dangerous. I think he has all the attributes to be a modern point guard. I think the modern point guard is starting to evolve just like every position in the NBA. Like if we look at the NBA now, the big man used to just be dominating the post, get some rebounds, block some shots. Now a big man has to be able to shoot. A big man has to be able to rebound. A big man is supposed to be able to know what to do when you're blitzing him at the left elbow or at the right block. They're supposed to know how to make the right read when they send 2 bodies at the big. We saw it in Game 7 in the first half. Rudy Gobert was getting blitzed with the ball in his hand so many times, and it led to so many turnovers, bad shots, air balls, out of bounds plays. So be it. But anyway, with how the game is evolving, I think Nikola Topic is the picture-perfect point guard. 6'6", 6'7", not slim at all, has some weight on him, can distribute the ball, can run in transition, can finish at the rim, has the mechanics to be a league average 3-point shooter. I'm not asking him to be Steph Curry, but I'm going to ask him to knock down some shots. I think his rookie season, if we can get 11, 5, and 5 out of Nikola Topic, that is a success. I'm not asking Nikola Topic to be a 30-point per game type of guy. I'm asking him to run an offense. So this is my number 1 point guard in my 2024 NBA prospect big board. I hope you guys like this video. If you guys like this video, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'm out. Peace.